Good morning, everybody. Today is our Wednesday Wisdom live call. They are all recorded, so if you're not able to be here, you can hear all of the recordings on the website. Sign up for the email, get your free guide, and get them an email. Or find them on Facebook in the closed group, Loving Yourself from the Inside Out. There's many places to find these recordings if you're not able to be here live. I am a personal coach. I do private coaching for those that want to go deeper. They want to reprogram their negative self-talk. I came up with a new one, and that was helping people stop mentally masturbating. It might be a little too abrasive for some people, but I kind of sat with it for a while. I haven't decided if I want to change it or not. It might be offensive. I don't know. Anyway, probably weed some people out too. Huh? What was that?
I love it. I liked it.
I said, well, you certainly weed some people out. And those that are offended, you probably don't want anyway. And I thought, well, yeah, that's probably true. So I've been sitting with it for a minute since it came to me. And anyway, so that was another name I had thought of. And in addition to all of that, I have a course that I offer for 6 weeks. And I know one of you have been in that a couple times now. So it's very cool. And I just heard this morning from another friend who gave a person that's done the course. She had a conversation, and so some testimony that this person is in the course, and just how great it's been, and how emotional she got about it, and how much it's helped her. So, it's the word's getting out there, and people are loving the results that they get from being a part of it. So that's another thing. I'm heading to the end of one. We have one more session, and then I'll have to look at the calendar possibly in May. Possibly I may have a 6-week window in there in between some other stuff, lots of other stuff going on. So stay tuned for those dates. All right. Today our conversation is about what it takes. And I called it What It Takes because some people don't know what it takes to really, truly make differences in their life. And I choose the word differences rather than change because most of us get quite a charge or quite a resistance when we think about change. Oh my God, I have to change this thing. Everything's changing in my life, and it's and it feels like it's upside down. And there's whole cultural stigma. I don't know if that's the right word. There's a whole cultural thing that comes, and it just adds this charge when we think about change. Things have to change. And so I choose the word difference. Do things different. It's really simple. We are changing. We are making changes, yes, because we're doing something different. It's really simple. It's not always easy. It's really simple. So it's just a concept. I become very present to the words that we choose and how they have been given some false bill of goods. Change is change, really. That's what life is. And many of us, we like our routines, we like our habits, and we do things. Some things are really good. We brush our teeth every morning. We probably take a shower in the morning. We get ready for work. There's things that work, that are routine, that are good habits. And then there's other things that aren't so effective anymore, like how we show up in our relationships, or how we treat ourselves in the world, or how I relate to my husband when I think he should do something else than what he's doing. And it's really, truly none of my business except that it affects me. So I think I have some power or control or, and the truth is that I got nothing. Really. There's nothing I can do except to be by his side. I can't change him. I can't make it different for him, but I want to. And that's where I get to reel myself in. So just becoming present to that. So what does it take? What does it take to make differences in our life? Some of us, many of us, think that we have to do it all at once. I'm going to go get in shape all at once today, and I'm going to walk 5 miles. It's a muscle, right? They're muscles, the same as our emotional muscles and our spiritual muscles. It takes time and a little bit at a time to make lasting, impactful, lifelong differences. One thing choose one, affects everything in our life. I shared in the email I was lacking in the body movement, just getting off my butt, getting off the couch. I massage and I walk here and there, and I'm pretty active, but I'm not truly moving my body intentionally to move the energy, to have it be vital and thriving and not achy. And I signed up to do this course because when I'm 90, I want to be vital and thriving. There is a parallel here, so hold with me. It takes these small steps here so that when I'm 90, I'm being active and I'm actively participating in keeping my body healthy and supple, which also lends to the mind to be thriving when I'm 90 or 100 and not a question mark. I live near an elder community, so I see lots of people with, move slow, and their posture is very poor, and I just, oh boy, it's a mirror. I think I want to be totally upright. I see some of these women that are in their 90s doing yoga, and it's pretty incredible to me, the strength, which lends to the strength of the rest of their health. I resisted like crazy, and my coach said, what is that? You have this wall in front of you. Like I could just feel this resistance every time you even talk about moving. And I said, I don't know. I don't have an answer. And I just sat with that question. I just held that question. Because sometimes maybe we need to know, maybe we don't need to know why we resist something. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes we just have to do it. We just have to do one small thing. Just in saying, I don't know what to do. I don't know why I'm resisting. I just know I need to do it. I got up the next morning and I did it. I found what really works for me is getting up right out of bed and doing the sun salutation. There is no time to think about it. I go to the bathroom, maybe, if I have to, but there's no time to think about it. So when we're making other choices, different choices, it helps to find the place to implement it. Let's say we want to respond in our relationship instead of being critical. Just an example. How do we do that? Where do we start? Somewhere in there, we become mindful. We become aware of our trigger. That's the number one thing. When I become aware of my trigger, now I have some way to do something different. Otherwise, I just keep reacting to it, the same trigger, right? So when I can identify the trigger, now I can make a different choice. So let's see. Often we have someone in our life, whether it's our husband, our mom, I'm muted because I could hear some other noise. So you can hit *6 to unmute yourself. So sometimes it's our mom. I have mom stuff. Sometimes I get triggered by my husband. And so noticing, okay, so I know I get triggered by my mom. That's my cue. My mom triggers me like crazy sometimes. Other times I'm great with her. And then there's other times I'm like, oh God, I just want to hurt her right now. Just be quiet. I'm certain there are people that can relate to that. And it may not be your mom. It may be somebody else. It could be a friend, someone who represents your mom or your partner. So becoming aware of that thing. Now, what are we going to implement? Different. Sometimes we have to know what we're going to do different. For me, with my mom, I pause. When my mom triggers me, and the last time I saw her, it was a lot. I felt triggered a lot. So I'm aware of this. So I would pause. I've already set this up. I've put this in place so I don't react to her and say something nasty and snide back. pause and I breathe. And sometimes I walk away. Or sometimes I say, Mom, let's talk about something else. But I've already decided beforehand, because I know I have this trigger. And it doesn't matter if it's my mom or someone else. It's usually the same trigger that's getting triggered, the same wound. But I've implemented now. I said, okay, I have something in place that I'm going to do different. I'm going to pause and breathe. It changes my physiology. Maybe in addition to that, I say a prayer, or I have a positive affirmation. I love my mom just the way she is, or I accept her the way she is. Something in my mind that helps me to shift my view. But the point is that I've already decided beforehand. Does that mean I do it every time? Absolutely not. I don't. I still have my reactions at times. Sometimes I still come back at her being snide and critical and in reaction to her. And then I'll catch myself and I'm like, dang it. But if I've already got that tool in place, it's a lot easier to utilize it than if I'm triggered and now I'm trying to figure out what I'm doing. Then once I've done that, then the energy in my relationship with her changes. And often she'll stop doing whatever that thing is that she's doing because I've stopped engaging. It's way easier. It's way easier for me to tell you how to do it than to do it sometimes, often when we begin. So let me use something maybe a little simpler. We already have things in place. Let's just say I get out of bed and now I'm going to exercise before I go make the coffee. Now my reward is I exercised. I get to go make my coffee now so I can have my coffee. Right? So I've already got the coffee thing in place. I'm going to go do that. But I've decided that that'll be my reward for my exercise. If you want to do something, let's say like you want to add something, and I started doing oil pulling for my teeth. I'm using some other physical things that are a little easier to relate to. So when I get up in the morning, I heat up my oil so I can use my oil. Coconut oil. For those of you that don't know what oil pulling is, it's putting oil in your mouth and swishing it around for, they say 20 minutes, but I can never quite do it that long. And it's antibacterial, and it helps heal the gums and the teeth. And I decided I wanted to implement that. So I do that. We get in the shower. I've heated my oil before I get in the shower because it's coconut, so it gets hard. When I get out, it's warm. Put it in my mouth before I brush my teeth. So I've just inserted something into my routine that doesn't take a lot of extra time and effort when I'm just trying to do it on my own willpower. Not always very effective. So if I can find those places, those things that are already in place, and then I can insert, that's why I'm telling you about the emotional thing, when we're attempting to change and do something different in our relationships, you already have the thing in place that you want to do because you know the trigger's there. So I know that I'm going to get in the shower and I'm going to brush my teeth when I get out of the shower. In between that, I've inserted a new routine. Instead of trying to force myself to change how I am in my relationships, I just become aware and I become mindful that I know my mom triggers me. Now what can I put in place to respond or react differently to her? It's a shift in our mental way of being. It helps our brain when we already have something to do differently. When we can see that what I'm going to do differently is going to create a little more safety in my world, my brain's going to kick out that, it's going to kick into the safety mode rather than the defensive stress mode, fight or flight, right? Now in my reaction. So I'm implementing something different to put into place so that I can respond and create safety for myself. That's all the brain wants us to feel safe. And the brain, because we're so conditioned and wounded, trauma, whatever those are, that's a condition of the brain already. Now I'm going to create something new so that my brain can feel safe, thus altering. So I put those things in place first rather than trying to figure it out as I go along. Because I've done that too. It didn't really work. Because I'm conditioned to react. I got there and I'm like, I'm going to unmute you, so I'm going to hear your. Did all that make sense? Are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay. Was it helpful? Is it making sense to you about how to implement something different?
Oh, yeah. It definitely makes sense. I'm trying to practice that with my mom now. And I hate to do this to you, but I need to go in. My back is out, and I'm going to go in and see the chiropractor right at this moment. So I'm sorry.
Good. Take care of yourself. Thanks for being here.
Love you. Bye.
Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Oh, I'm so glad. Anyway, so was it helpful?
Mm-hmm.
Are you still processing?
I love the fact that a lot of this stuff is happening because energy for me right now is moving out. And so I'm noticing a lot of change in the way I get triggered because now I'm aware of it. Because Stacey, are you on the call?
No. She didn't join us today.
Yeah. Okay. So, I think a lot of why I can relate to what you're saying is because I'm doing that little girl work again. It all goes back to that for me right now, and the fact that that I'm able to stop because I'm doing that pause right now too, where, but I'm just now starting to do it, and because Laura is my mom for me, and it's sad. I'm trying to work that out with her, with me. It's really with me. It's not with her. I need to work it out. It's with me. But I'm learning to pause and not take everything so personal. You know what I mean? It's like, and that's huge for me because I took everything personal. I mean, when you're on your 30th birthday, your whole life you knew your mom was out to get you because she fucked with you daily, and she would say, "Oh, you think everybody's out to get you?" And then on your 30th birthday, she calls you up to make a quote amends because she's working the program for a day, and she decides to call me and tell me that I was right, that she was out to get me my whole life because she hated me.
She told you. Oh gosh, my whole body just prickled. Wow.
Because she hated me, and she told me, she goes, I've hated you your whole life because I've been jealous, and because I would look at you and see your dad, and he was the man that broke my heart, and I blamed you for everything, and I was out to get you.
Oh, wow.
So that validation of that, I sometimes stop, and so this was my thing yesterday, Marty, was I will not be a victim. I will not be a fucking victim to nothing and nobody. I'm too fucking strong for that shit. And I started feeling like I was a victim in my house, right? I was like, why would I feel like that? This is Laura, dude. You know what I mean? It's like, it's not okay that I feel like that. And it's not her. I mean, it's her. It's how she reacts to shit. But that's her. It's not me. And I don't need to be a victim over it, So there's a lot of stuff that's moving out for me right now.
Yes.
And if I pause and just stop, it's okay to do that. And obviously I'm turning shit for her too, you know what I mean?
We do that when we have stuff to grow through. Yes, we do.
It's life, but it's good. This is how we learn and grow up, dude.
Yes. Yes, because I had that person that was my mom that would trigger me, oh my God, and I would just be over the top. And then I finally realized, oh, she's my mom.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it just takes some, and in that pause, we're allowing the space for something to be different.
Right. Yeah.
We're also, in that pause, if the other person, because we're not reacting, sometimes they go deeper.
Yeah.
And sometimes they realize. So there's lots of shifting that can happen when we take that moment to pause and take a deep breath.
Yeah. Right.